Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome. My name is Megha Iyer, Associate Editor of B2B Purchase magazine, and we welcome you to an interactive series on advanced welding with skilling and technology. Delegates, please note that you're on mute for better workability of the session. The chat facility is on for you to interact with your panelists. You can put your thoughts and questions in the Q&A box. We have my colleague Ms. Ria who will introduce you to the panelists and will moderate the session. So delegates, let's sit back and enjoy this special interactive session. I welcome Ms. Ria.
Thank you, Megha. As India inspires to become a million-person economy worth $5 trillion, the construction infrastructure business in India is becoming more important with a constant increase in the share of pre-engineered buildings and industrial structures. This constantly increasing graph is projected to transform construction patterns across the construction and industrial sector. This revolutionary trend creates new chances for industrial welding and welding procedures across the country. The next debate focuses on the need for competent staff to handle automated and robotic welding training and development and safety requirements in welding operations. Today's procurement series will focus on advanced welding with skilling and technology. Experts across the welding industry, equipment manufacturers, solution providers, and training experts will discuss the transformations happening in the welding and cutting sector across construction and industrial applications. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to our today's distinguished speakers. Mr. Amrit Yoga Mishra, Senior Manager, Marketing, Panasonic Smart Factory Solutions, India. Mr. Satish P. Sawant, Head Inspection and Surveyor, Indian Institute of Welding Technology. And Mr. Antri K.A., Project Manager, Don Bosco Vocational Training Institute.
Mr. Satish, I would like to start with you. You mentioned your concerns about the existing image of welding and engineers in India. So, do you mean that the welding as a profession in India needs dignity or it lacks dignity today?
Definitely, because it's a highly skilled job comparative to any other trade which we are talking about. No, most of the things now CNC is operating on it. So where the skill has reduced, you will not see the conventional lathe machine has been used. Everything has been converted with the high-tech CNC machines. But in welding, as I mentioned to you, there is a different processes are there. And each process will have its own advantages and limitation. Everything cannot be converted to the automation, but definitely automation will help us to do the faster things and the quality and consistency with automation, which cannot be matched with the manual operations. But then definitely we need to have a very good requirement for the welders, and this welders should be welding engineers, welding designers, shall be trained first properly, and definitely after the training respect will come. So many, as Mr. Antri is also doing a very wonderful job going to the rural areas, educating and the bottom level people. That can really help us to bring the economy up. So really great work has been, so many institutions are doing it. But unless and until the society or the engineering field, whatever we are having our own society, the welders, welding engineers need to be respected well, and it is a highly respectable profession. So we need to really, everyone has to be work on it. And salary wise, I'm telling you, Mr. Antri has also said, no, the industry is he has to go and really he has to talk to the people. Otherwise, they will take whenever they needed the welders, and after 3 months, 4 months, they don't have project, then they remove them. So they use their skill for the temporary basis, and again they become unemployed. So really, industries wise, if you look into that, we should know. Industry should also think about it. We're all engineers. We're working, so we should think about everyone. If you don't respect another engineer, you will be not respected. If we will not respect the skill in the industries, we definitely will be also not respected in the industry. So everyone need to be respected, paid well. Another is when most of the welders, I'm telling them, scholars and dollars. If you are not respected here, you will be respected outside. Go there and work. Automatically, in India, the day will come because it is a requirement, and this welder will be paid well. I'm telling you, and the welding engineers will be paid well. All the welding society, and even whatever the automation is going on, definitely everyone will have a good business into that. Okay, so we should work together. This is a requirement for the nation. If you want to build the nation and we have to achieve that, so definitely we need to work together.
Thank you, Mr. Satish, for addressing that. Mr. Amrit Yoga, coming to you, you explained to us the significant welding processes impacting our GDP and our economy. And it's now happening with the Make in India plan. But how far are the imports of the welding equipment impacting the domestic market in a good way?
Madam, actually, I will tell you around 10 years before, almost 60% of the welding machines imported were made in China, and only 40% were, made in India. But two things have happened which is favoring the authenticated manufacturers now. I mean, which is supporting the Make in India. One is what happened is after the GST implementation now, okay, under invoicing and all these things, it has become very less. Second is China has also become very strict on its manufacturers, those who are not following the proper quality or environment compliance rules. So I will tell you, the share of Chinese or the equipments are coming very much less. Now it has become almost, as per our data, from 60% 10 years before, now it has become almost 45% the machines which are getting imported from China. That too, they are in very lesser ampere machines, say 250 or 200 amperes. Now customers are also preferring machines manufactured in India, because Modi, the Prime Minister, is supporting Make in India. And second is if the customers buy from Indian manufacturers, there is better service availability and spare availability. So slowly, I think last 10 years, almost 50% imports have reduced. So it is a good news and for the mission of Prime Minister Make in India. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Of course, it's a good sign for the Indian industries and for our Make in India campaigns also. Mr. Satish, how do you look at it? How far are the imports, reduced imports, adding past possibilities for the domestic welding and application engineers to gain expertise in the advanced welding?
Scenario, if you look at, definitely we'll depend upon the technology wise, because we don't have our own R&D centers. See, there is a gap. For if you look for the technology, iPhone can come India and they can manufacture the iPhone. But what is the R&D has been done in India related to the welding or the automation or the design of the special purpose machine for the welding? There is a gap, definitely. Our engineering colleges also need to work on this mission to have R&D centers, not only related to the welding, it's a total, because now there is a noble metals which we are using. Those days has been gone. We are welding with only with the carbon steel. Now there is a requirement of the super duplex kind of materials, and aluminum is coming in a big way into the market. So there is a huge requirement for the aluminum welders, aluminum welding, understand the aluminum and design the component with the aluminum. So definitely there is a gap. As on today, we are facing this problem because we don't get the good designers, good engineers. Not only we always look for the welders. No, all institutions, when they talk about the skill development, they're only focusing on the welders, upgradation and all. They feel only they can do that and they can change the world. So it is not only the welders, welding supervisors, welding trainers, then the NDT personnel, as well as design engineers. We need good inspectors. They should inspect properly as per the code requirement. Understanding the legal requirement related to the welding is also equally important. There is a new specifications coming. Okay, there is a very, as I mentioned, industry wise, there is a new specifications coming up. So we need to have those specification understanding level with us, and creating our own specification is, as on today, is a far difficult, because we don't have that R&D centers with us. So definitely we need to work together on the mission. But then there is a definitely good potential for Indians because they speak English. So they can go abroad. Even I had seen the welders started communicating well. So when we go for the European requirement. I've seen welders are also getting graduated and learning new languages. I've seen few welders is going for the Italian language classes also because they want to go to the Italy. So they are going for the evening classes. So they will gel with their requirement. But definitely there is a huge requirement for the research and development in India related to welding.
Of course, you very well mentioned it. Summarize it, in fact, that the design experts also need to do R&D to add innovation in welding. Mr. Antri, how does the skill development modules help us develop technologically upgraded welding engineers and application engineers?
Definitely, we have a lot of skill framework patterns or syllabus available. But what I find is that they don't get a real exposure in the industry. So there is no kind of an industry exchange program at any point taking place. Okay, government now ITA level they have introduced OJET on the job training program for few hours and so on. But same way for the supervisors, engineers, they should go to the industry and work for even during their study time, as we have it in German programs, German house building program. Sometime working in the industry, then again coming back and completing. And some of the projects, some of them they just do for the sake of doing a project. They don't do a project that is industry relevant or maybe which has a research dimension or a kind of a contributory dimension in the this particular industry. So they just do something like that. So those things can be, if it is insisted, then they will come out with saying that okay, we don't have time, syllabus has to be met, exam has to come, all these kind of things. But somehow we need to find out as the job or the industry interaction activity while they are doing the training program, so that they have better. For example, that's what I was mentioning. I was personally going to all my sponsor industries. I have personally gone and visited, found out their requirement. I am training the welders. For example, when I am training a welder for the marine-based industry, I am just looking into what are the requirements that they have in that particular company. Accordingly, practice is given. And if they are going to work in an MIG-MAG operations, only that is given. So what is the requirement in that? So that way, you really specifically pinpoint and give, then you get a very, very quality worker, engineer, designer, and supervisor, and so on, inspection personnel, and so on. Only that is the only solution. We have to really, some people have to be after that. Then only things will happen. Thank you.
Mr. Antri, it's critical to upgrade welding engineers given the opportunity also. Mr. Amrit Yoga, being an expert in this field, how do you evaluate the transformations that automation and robotics has brought into the welding processes and engineering?
India is currently facing the huge shortage of skilled manpower in welding, and also during the festival time, Holi, Diwali, all these things, the welders are going on long leave. So it is ultimately affecting the production, in a negative way. So I see that the robotic automation is picking up very fast. Yet if I tell you the machine sale is increasing at say 7-8%, the robotics is in market, it is increasing something like 20% like that. Because the industries want to avoid the use of manpower as much as possible. So I will tell you, conventionally, almost I think 95% of the robots are going into automobile industries, and say rest 3% will be going into this JCB kind of backhoe loaders. But I will tell you, now slowly the other sectors are really adopting the use of welding robots. Say for example, hospital furnitures, wheelchairs, and e-rickshaw. All these industries are also really gym equipment. I see these industries are also implementing this robotic automation, which is sometimes very amazing for me. But it is the reality that this, because of since skilled welders are not available in sufficient quantity, and second is during the holidays time they go away. So it is really catching very fast, this robotic automation.
Thank you so much for addressing that. Mr. Satish, Mr. Amrit Yoga just mentioned even the same thing about availability of skilled engineers. So, what would you like to add to his views on how far these automation and robotics technologies are helping the engineers to adopt and evolve in this area?
Actually, the new engineers coming up, they will be very happy. They need not to work like no, the way I had worked for 18 hours standing on the job when the pre-heating and post-heating treatment is going on and all. But with doing with the automation and all, if there is a industrial 4.0 is getting introduced, and definitely Panasonic and Mr. Mishra has said they are doing few activities into the industry 4.0 also. So definitely that will be eye catching. And welding, whatever what I feel about it, it should be like a hobby classes are there. No, people learn about the other hobbies like painting, or the someone will go for the music classes or dancing classes. So these kind of hobby classes, because welding is a required skill, everyone cannot weld like one person. Even I will use same machine, same electrode, same parameters, and everyone will weld. They will welding will be different. No, like a singer. So these should be as a hobby can be developed during the school days or the college days. People should look at the welding as a hobby. Okay, it is not a burden to know. They should not feel it is very difficult. See, when I'm conducting program in South Africa and all other countries, I'm having 90% girls are doing welding. So Ria only talking about the welding now. She should also do some arc welding or practice with. It is very simple. It's a more on art. So people should look at to this as an art. And doing with the robotics, the young engineer definitely will get attracted. I will request Mishraji to come and visit our institute in Mumbai also, and how they can help us for the robotics welding training program, and what is the industrial need if they can tell us. So we can also modify our program. So, and Antareji, I know because Don Bosco, I keep on going and visiting Mumbai and other Goa. So I had visited. So uh, definitely, as a social organization, they are doing a really wonderful job. It should be everyone should be look at to the welding as a hobby. Don't look at as no. There is a shock will get or all these things will get. As on today also, I prefer to weld with my own hand. I prefer to do the ultrasonic testing with my own hand, and I'm very happy to know real contribution to the industry. So everyone in the forum over here, so we should start some. Unless that is my dream, no, to start as a small 1 week program as a for everyone can join, as a hobby classes for the welding. So and that we are introducing in the March first week, the hobby classes for the welding. So like that, we are doing something, but everyone should look at to this, and all new engineers in colleges and all, because we are getting a lot of students from the college. So definitely we invite Mishraji to come and visit us and see that how industry and institution can work together.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Mr.
hand over to
Satish.
you.
Mr. Amrit Yoga, Mr. Satish mentioned about training practices and safety practices. So, how do you rate the existing safety practices as for organizations like Panasonic? Safety is paramount. It's a premium requirement. So, what kind of training, welders training and practices do you offer for upgrading skill development on welding experts?
Yeah, madam, this is a very good question. Of course, we are not expert on safety in welding because this is itself is a specialized field. But I will tell you, mostly the training presentations which we give to the students always starts with first few slides in safety. The basic, safety that your skin should be protected from the UV rays and risk of fire and handle the high pressurized cylinders properly. Also, be careful while handling the electrical apparatus also because welding machines is always, electricity is needed. So of course, we are not expert on this subject. So we do not give extensive training on this. We only keep ourselves limited to giving the training on application part, the robotic welding applications and welding machine applications. this. Probably Satish ji is, I think, he's a very known name in welding, and probably he will be having better, exposure to the safety practices in welding. Yeah, thank you.
Mecca, I would like to add something in this line regarding the safety. See, when we do the training program, we actually educate all the students for the standard welding safe practices and best practices, how they do. Minimum things like their safety shoes, their particular dress, the aprons, the coveralls, the helmet, the different shades of glass shields, protection equipments, gloves. So all these things, because since these programs are supported by industry-based training, we are also capable of providing the best equipment for all these safety guys. But what happens in the once we teach them and these things are required and all those things, but when we send them into the real situation, companies are very many companies are unwilling to invest on safety things because they find it as an additional investment on the worker, on this worker personal protective equipments as well as on the machine. So sometimes they force them to work on unrepaired machines in poor condition. All they demand, because if they call a service personnel, I'll change the machine or all these expenses. So they really, so in actual on the ground, I find that they are so very stringent in practicing the safety precautions, because they are not also, if a worker happens to demand a little bit, no, I will not work without this type of equipments, then either they change him or they check him out, or some, if it is a standard company and all, okay, maybe they might follow. So this is what actually happening in the actual practice of the safety, though we educate them while training them for the program. This point we need to really address that, those industries who are listening to this program, they can think of it. Thank you.
Yes, I definitely will do that. Thank you so much, panelists, for being a part of our interactive series today by making knowledgeable, informative submissions and panel discussion. Now, I would like to, can I ask Mr. Satish to give a closing statement for today's session?
Really, the B2B, or the way you are connecting with the people is really good. And today's topic is fantastic, what I feel. There is a very specific need for the skill development, safety, and the training at different level we had discussed. Today we had discussed about the robotics requirement also. So really I am thankful, and the persons who will be attending there, I had seen there is more than 42 members over here. If there is any questions from their end, they should be free to contact us. So hope you will be doing that. You will be circulating all the details to them and their questions. No, actually, I was thinking there is some from the listeners' questions will come, and definitely then that can help actually to the society. So I thank you very much for Mr. Antriji, Mr. Mishraji, their views about the welding which has been discussed, and Ria also. Ria has also done good job. She has introduced well. And definitely what I feel, we can work together for the nation building. Welding is for the nation building. So we should build a strong nation, create a homogeneous joint. No, welding has been always called as a homogeneous joint. Unless and until it becomes homogeneous, we cannot call it as a sound weld. When we perform the ultrasonic testing, always we look for the sound waves to pass and give a very good ultrasound weld. So it is a industrial need. We should get welded with each other, and to make a homogeneous joint, like you are doing your job good, connecting people from the same field together. You are also doing indirect welding. Okay, so this is a really nice platform. Ayer madam, you have prepared it. So what I feel, you need to have a very frequent programs and the connectivity. What I feel, there is a gap. No, I don't know who is attending the program. Okay, so we can actually help to the guys, and try to go for their specific need. The connect, there is a, in your joining somewhere, I feel is a gap, because the participant were looking for the questions who is attending the program. So you can also make that awareness within them, and we should also get details about who has attended the program so that welding will be perfect. Okay, so that is my view about it. And there is a robotics welding centers are available, so they are having in Delhi, they should have one in Mumbai also, and Calcutta also. Everywhere they should have advanced welding centers. So
Definitely,
I
sir.
request Mishra ji to come and visit us and see that what best can be done. So Mr. Mishra ji, you are invited to Mumbai.
Sir, thank
Definitely.
you so much. So offline, I'll take your number from madam,
Yes.
and then I would like to talk to you separately. And thank you so much for your invitation. I am really happy to come over there to Bombay.
Yeah, you're
Thank
most
you.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Mr. Satish, and thank you so much, Mr. Mishra. Now, I would like to request Riya to closing of today's session.
Thank you, Megha. Thank you, panelists, for sharing your valuable thoughts on advanced welding with skilling and technology. We hope you all have enjoyed the session. Before wrapping up the session, we thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Amrit Yoga Mishra, Mr. Satish P. Sawant, Mr. Antri K.A. I also want to thank Ms. Megha Iyer for taking this initiative. You can follow us on our social media pages to get more updates from B2B Purchase magazine. Also, our application is available on Google Play and App Store for enhanced reading. With this, we would like to announce the closing of today's session. Please all stay tuned for more such sessions.